I should really have read the rules. Oh great! Now everybody knows I haven't read the rules. No problem. Say when. Oh, you. For God's sake. Hello, everybody, and apologies for that wonderful me talking to myself. That'll sound like to you. I was actually talking to Phil Diaz, who you can't hear because he's the streamer. But anyway, welcome to round 1 of Super GT. This is a new series in Live for Speed using a new two different classes of cars, a bit like Masters of Endurance, but it's completely different in the race structure. No longer do you have 6 hours of interruption-free hot lap sessions. It's actually a completely different format. I'll firstly take you through the cars. In GT500 you have FZR, XR and XR, of course, as per usual. The FZR is the only one with some kind of restriction in this class, with 1% intake restriction and 10 kilograms added to the weight. In GT300 you have an FZR with 29% intake restriction, an XR with 35% intake restriction, and FXR 34% restriction. We've had a bit of controversy with GT300 in pre-qualifying to see which teams would get to this stage, which is the qualifying session for the first round. And for this pre-qualifying, the administration team took the FXR's balancing down from 34% to 33% just for that first pre-qualifying session, as it became very, very apparent that no FXR had much of a chance of getting through at that track with the restriction as it was. I'm joined here by Dennis Lind. Hello Dennis, how are you today?
Very good, Chris. Thank you.
For this qualifying session, you'll be watching GT500 while Phil stays on GT3. Phil's with me on GT300 just now, but he will be switching halfway through this session to the GT500 server. What do you expect from this series, Dennis? How do you think it's going to go? I mean, it's a completely different concept and race structure, with having 2 races. One's a qualifying race. They're not for today's race, actually. It's just a pure qualifying session, but usually we'll have a short sprint style race to determine the grid for the longer races. More on that, I suppose, when we actually come to the first race of the season in a little while's time. But how do you expect that the series is going to go from a driver's point of view? Do you think it's going to bring a little bit more of the spice back to Live for Speed, or something that Masters of Endurance and IGTC and all these other leagues had sort of started to struggle with because of the lack of development of the sim?
Definitely, we're going to look at some closer racing, because since it's quite short races, we're not going to have the race losing its flames after 4 hours or something. This is only 90-minute races, so we should have close racing all the way through, and plus the safety cars and all that. So it's probably going to bunch the grid together a lot, like the IGTC would. Got some very, very good racing lately.
Indeed, today's race is, when it starts, going to be, I believe, 34 laps in length. It's a 2.5 minute, almost 2 minute 40 minute track for the GT500. So it should take about 90 minutes, as you said. 2 different drivers will be used for each car, so it'll be quite interesting to see the various strategies, I think, because normally in Live for Speed you get your tyres going for an hour, but will you give other drivers more of a chance? I suspect not, so I suspect you'll have the short.
Either if they know they have the base and they're a bit further back in the field, they're probably going to pit just around half an hour through the race and get the second driver in the car, and get very quick car for the later of the race. I think we're probably going to see that for a few cars, but yeah. But usually I think it's going to be the good old normal 1 hour fashion.
And apologies if you've lost pictures now. Our streamer Phil Diaz has timed out of the server. He seems to be back now, but this is the slower GT300. 500 class that is going around just now that you're seeing. It's not the same as GT2. It's a little bit slower, and it'll be quite interesting to see, because I expect that the racing in this class should be pretty close. I mean, from pre-qualifying that the times between the cars were certainly a lot closer than the GT500, so this should be an interesting class for everybody involved, I think.
I think the FXR's restriction FXR, sorry, is pretty close to the ITCC one, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, so you're probably going to see some really close racing, I could imagine.
It's been quite interesting to see, actually, in pre-qualifying that the FX are struggling as much as they have, because recently in IGTC and also in GT2 World Series, I've actually seen the FX are being reasonably competitive and having reasonably good chances with the restrictions that have sort of become the norm, balancing. And as soon as we got to GT3, it's proved a bit more troublesome. I suppose that's... I don't really understand why that would be the case myself. Do you have any sort of light to shed on why that could be, Dennis?
Well, you know, it's hard to say really. You know, the first 50% is the driver himself or herself, for instance. But I think it's how much power that actually comes through the wheels at some point. You know, the FXR has four wheels that it needs to put the power to, and the other guy only two. And I think with that, it's not really low power, but you know, it's definitely not enough to make the wheel spin coming out of the corner. So I think that the FXR might be a bit underpowered for this compared to the other two.
Of course, we actually have wind for these sessions as well. Hang on, wait a second. Yes, we have wind for this session, which is going to be interesting for the drivers. It's not the same, of course, because the two classes are at separate servers, but the wind could definitely have an effect on these cars and the way that they're handling with the various setups, because wind in LFS is static rather than the normal real-life wind, which you can sort of live with, but it's sort of a random element to live for speed that I suppose everybody will hope that the developers change in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely going to bring some spice to the whole race itself, because obviously you're going to have better downforce and greater speeds coming through the corners in some places, and in other places you're going to have a bit less downforce coming into the corners, and that can really affect your driving and the tyres themselves. So we're probably going to see some people who are struggling because the tyres overheat or can't really put the heat into them because the tyres are not getting the same amount of punishment as they would.
And of course this track, Aston Grand Prix, everybody will probably be aware of it as the 24-hour race for Masters of Endurance venue. It's a track with many twists and turns. It's quite a fast and flowing track in many respects, but it has the hairpins as well, the 3 hairpins in the middle of the course. What do you think of this track then, Dennis? Is it one of your favourites?
Well, yes, I usually call this track my backdown. It's one of the tracks I know the best and live for speed, and I can never really get enough of this. I've had about, all in all, maybe 4,000 laps around here. So I really like this track, and you know, you said it yourself, it's fast and flowing, and you can get some good racing down if you strategize your bracing a lot. But you know, it's a really hard track to pass around unless you get a good run out of the corner. And as you said, the hairpins are probably the biggest opportunities for a pass, but also one of the more dangerous one, since it's a closing corner. It's not really opening up on the exit. You have to really use all of the corners to get the maximum out of the track. So it's hard to follow each other around the track, but it's a good place for getting a good toe down the straightaways and making a lethal pass.
Yes,
so
because of the nature. Sorry, carry on.
So far in the GT500 qualifying, the race star. Sorry about that. The GT500 so far in the qualifying, the race star car is in first with a 38.14, with the My 3AD car closing in second with a 38.6, so about half a second in between those two.
Yeah, so I was watching My 3ID and Raystar Convertibles, Johannes Scheuerle battling it out on the server the other day. It was quite interesting to watch them going back and forth on fastest laps for pre-qualifying, and then eventually the Raystar Convertible man caught them, and I think 3ID were disappointed, especially Niki Dakovic, who put quite a lot of effort into trying to beat him after that and could never quite nail the final sector. So it'll be interesting to see who's actually qualifying for 3ID just now there.
Tom McNojek.
Yeah, okay. He was pretty quick as well. I think that's going to be quite an interesting battle. In the GT500 class, I think there's 3, maybe 4 teams that should be right up there at the front, so it should be an interesting battle between those teams.
Yeah, what you said, the third sector was where Niki had a really hard time getting it good or perfect even. It's probably one of the hardest sectors on the whole course, even though it only has two corner complexes, with the last corner being a 3-corner chicane. And that chicane is just so important because you have the whole, you know, about what, one kilometer of straightaway just after, and you know, those 3-4 kilometers you bring into the corner and get out the corner as well. It's going to mean a hell of a lot when you get down to that first corner.
Currently in GT300 just now we have Speedo Racing, followed by Tiger Express, followed by Genuine Racing. 0.3 of a second the gap between first and second just now. Lone lines yet set a time with Miko Mertolito, names and Chris again. But yeah, this is it's shaping up to be quite interesting. I think that most teams are not going for a few laps in a row, which I'm reasonably surprised about in GT3. Preferring just to quickly shift P and carry on.
Yeah, with the qualifying being this short, you know, 20 minutes isn't really that short, but usually if it's a GT2 session, I remember that for MOE, I think it was a 40-minute qualifying or something like that. Everybody just went for it and just adjusted the fuel and just did like a stint where they were just hot lapping instead of, you know, pitting and getting new tires and all the time. Because the speed tires are getting quicker and quicker as thin as they get, and obviously you're going to be low on fuel as well, so you're going to be having a very, very quick car at the end of every stint. So that's what people would do in GT2, but with this short session you can't really exploit that strategy.
Yeah, of course that is a factor, but I'm sort of slightly interested to note that nobody's really, well, there's actually one car going for 2 fast laps, because I'm sort of surprised that the tyres actually heat up enough to do, or not to be able to do 2 flying laps, because I would have thought that the tyres would still be in reasonably good shape after 1 lap, so, but perhaps not. We'll see about that. It seems as though one car is definitely going for 2 flying laps in a row. And with the straights, of course, and with the relatively low air that's going through the heat that's going through the tyres, I would have thought that they'd cool down nicely on the straight. So I am slightly surprised they don't go for more than 1 maybe lap in a row. We actually have a few changes of position over here. Lone Lines have gone to fastest, and Sonic Growls have moved up into 3rd position ahead of Rin as well. So 51, 77, 53, 76. The top 4 separated by just 0.6 of a second.
The GT500 server, nothing really has changed since the first hot lap round. Still race style in P1 and my three in second, and Lowland Lions team in third.
As we almost have a collision with this server between two teams battling it out to be ahead of each other coming to the line. Looks like one's Vortex and one Glowing Pistons, I think that is, team. Almost crashing on the back straight ahead into the final hairpin. But still, I don't really need, considering that there's at least 40 seconds worth of gap behind them. Apologies if there are problems with the stream. Phil Diaz's internet has been capped, which is a bit of a blow. Oh dear, it only happened to Phil. We'll try and work around these problems as the race progresses.
Lowland Lions team in the GT500 just did a very quick first sector, and if he keeps this lap together, he's definitely going to do a good thing up there. He's in third at the moment, Benjabi, and yes, about 2/10 to the My 380 car, and then another 0.6 or 6/10 to the P1, and he just went into the gravel coming through the chicane on the back stretch of the circuit, which is also a very quick and twisty corner, and it's basically just a centimetre and it's going to send you into the gravel for a long picnic.
Yes, this certainly is one of the most rewarding corners I could think of in Live for Speed if you get it right, though. It's annoying if you get it slightly wrong and you run a little bit wide and have to come off the throttle, but if you get it nailed, it's rather awesome.
Yeah, I think it's one of the corners where, you know, it's a quite flat corner, and this is probably one of the corners where the suspension has the lesser punishment, where the tyres are really just working hard to get you to stay on the track, and the weight transition is so massive because you basically come from braking and all the weight being to the front and going the opposite way and just getting on the throttle as hard as you can. So the whole car is basically just like a, you know, a water bottle you tip from side to side.
Over here at the moment we have Oscar Rin for Tiger Express, currently 4th at the moment, and he's on a decent lap until final chicane, or chicane complex I should say. I always think with these GT3 restrictions, the engines sound horrible, to be honest. I don't really like the restricted engine to sound like that. I think GT2 is okay, but GT3, especially the Aston, sounds as though it's got a bit of a misfire. It's a bit strange, the noise.
Yeah, it sounds like a real boxer now. And my 3ID's Atomic Nojek has just set the pole so far, provisional pole, in the GT500 server. and he did a 2:38.04, and that is exactly 1/10 in front of Johannes Schorle in the race start car.
Indeed, Oscar Vin did move up into second place over here, just 2/10 behind Lone Lions. So that's Speedo down to third and onto row 2. And we also had a bit of a drama as car 59, that's Vortex I think. For some reason we're on the server when they weren't supposed to be, so they've been kicked off now. But,
and also the Lowland Lions has been passed in the qualifying by TDAT. Knops did a 2:38.64 and he's now in third. That's knocking Benjavi of the Lowland Lions down to fourth, just in front of Wong, who just got replaced by Blasco from the Lanzarote Racing Team, and he's exactly 1/100th of a second behind Benjavi. And that knocks Wong down to sixth from the Players Own Team. And Dominic Engel being the last ones in the 2:38 so far with his genuine racing car. He's now in 7th.
We have a car stopped on pit entry here for some reason. It's Hellenic Racing in their FZR. I don't know. Making it difficult for people to come in the pit lane there. Okay, he's going again. There's a strange incident. It's good to see some new teams actually out for this this new series. Some names I've not seen before, some names I've not seen in a while. You've mentioned there. The players of Wong, Vinsper of course, haven't seen him in quite a while on Live for Speed, good to see him back.
Yeah, there's lots of old faces and definitely new faces that's coming along with this Super GT series, and it's very, very nice to see, and it's probably it's one of the only times in this year I've seen a full grade of multi-car racing apart from cargame.nl public racing.
And ironically, cargame.nl is our server provider for the race today, so yeah, there we go. A nice little roundabout sequence there as we come to the end of these qualifying sessions. I only have 10 seconds to go. Looks as though Lone Lions will maintain pole position. Sonic Realms on a lap just now though. Speedo just get over the line in time to start one actually.
And I have race start here. Trying to get the final lap down and getting the pole back from my 3AD here, and Knops from TDRT is pretty stationary in third, and Johannes Schorle just blew the pole there. He went into the gravel through that left-right sweeper.
The fastest man in pre-qualifying in GT 500 is not going to take pole position for this first ever Super GT race. And GT 500. It's a nicer split for Speedo, trying to get back onto the front row, or at least. I think the last one's over the lane, so it'll be quite a nervous time for everybody else until they come round. All of the top teams, Jonatis will be the first over the line in this server. He's made a very, very wide and slidey entry into the final hairpin down toward the chicane. I think that is probably going to have blown his chances. Rear stepping out into the chicane as well, bouncing all over the place, and his XR in fact gives up the lap and slams into the wall. The Lone Lions good their lap as well over here.
So far, the GT 500 qualifying just ended, and The only last guy to do a lap is Knops from the TDRT, and he's doing a very, very quick second sector here. And he's coming towards the final split here, and the third backstretch of the track, coming up to the final hairpin. See if he gets this right. It's a bit slow coming into the final hairpin here, but very good exit speeds coming down towards the chicane here. Slightly over in the car, but he nailed it, and let's see what he can get from this lap.
And over here, so I'll let you finish as you first. We're all very close.
Yeah, he just barely matched his old time with a 38.67, with his quickest lap being a 0.64. So he's stationary in third. That puts the TDRT car in third for the first race, Super GT.
And over here we had Speedo going through the final corner and flying straight through the tyres. That was their last chance. So it's Lone Lions from Tiger Express in GT 500, Speedo third, Sonic Dom's fourth, Savage Racing Team fifth, and I think it's Core in sixth position. And then we've got a little bit of a problem because Vortex were not supposed to be racing, so the rest of the positions will have to be decided by the administration team. But I suppose we'll be on a quick break before Super GT does start in around 10 minutes, I think it is.
Yep, and we have, I'm just going to do a quick rundown in the GT 500 grid here. We have my 3AD car in first, Raystar in second, TDRT third, closely followed by the Lowland Lions car of Wenjavi, Ruben Blasco of the Lanzarote Racing team, and Tomczyk from Conquest Racing in sixth, Wong from Bayazone in seventh, Dominic Engel Genuine Racing 8th, Juwonsu of Team what, Chris?
Sorry, who did you say?
Juwonsu.
Juvansu, Sonic Realm.
Sonic Realms then. Followed by Lebion from the that must be Speedo.
That is Speedo.
And then Arudu from Call Racing in 11th. Bjarglund from, that must be the Gravity Racing. Stankus from, oh god, I need to learn these teams. That must be Last Lap Motorsport, wasn't it?
No, I think that might be Wicked. I think he's Wicked. Wicked Racing.
He's Wicked. Yeah, okay.
I think that's who he is. Yeah. I think we should put teams as well as the rules in the future.
Definitely, we are very apologising for that. That will put Last Lap Motorsports in the 14th position and running out the Super GT 500 class. You were wrong, Chris.
Was I?
Yeah. Last
Time
of
Stankless. Oh.
Yeah.
See, he's Lithuanian, so I thought they also merged into Wicked Racing Team recently, but apparently not.
No.
Fail.
Campus in 14. So we're sorry for the mix-up here. We're all new to this.
And apologies if you're trying to chat in the Phil Diaz stream, for some reason it's coming up with the current message limit for this channel has been hit. Please try sending your message again later, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. That's more of a cryptic message for our streamer than anything else, I suppose. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. If you can hear me now on stream, am I too loud?
And if you can hear me too, that would be great.
Right, I think we're good. And now I'm getting inundated with people telling me I'm too loud all the time. Thank you very much, Steve Steve, and thank you very much to Eunice Koskinen as well.
So we had the Evans just ending the session here and starting to the grid for the race here. So Chris, what do you expect from the start of the race here?
Well, first thoughts is hopefully it'll be clean. It normally is at AS5, and hopefully everybody gets through the first lap without any incidents. I mean, it's a nice big gravel trap into turn 1, and with wind as well. Yeah, that could be quite interesting, especially for an XR turning up into turn 1, but hopefully it'll be clean, and hopefully everybody will make it around the first lap, and we'll all be okay. What do you expect? I suppose your thoughts will almost be pretty similar, because it's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be clean till we come up to the first corner where everybody's going to be a bit bunched up since it's a pretty hard braking zone. So it's going to be hard to tell, and also coming into the first hairpin, which is, you know, after a long straightaway and everybody's sort of getting a toe on each other coming down there. It's going to be exciting to see who makes up the most positions and who loses the most, basically. But I don't think we're going to see too much contact since everybody is somewhat experienced with racing, so I think it's going to be quite clean and hopefully some good racing to come.
Just a little delay there, waiting for Lance Roy's Racing to be ready for the grid. Hopefully this will be done pretty sharpish and we can get ready for the start of the race. It's scheduled in 6 minutes time. As you can see right now, Phil Diaz is thanking everybody for showing up. No, now he's not.
Now that's cute.
Oh, we're so touched. Thank you, Philip Diaz, for streaming.
Yes, thanks a lot, Phil. Don't get much streams lately, so we do love you, and yeah, hopefully there's more to come.
And we're now into the final few in the we're at the start of the GT300 class, aren't we? We're into the GT300 class, we're on schedule at least. Reasonably excited to see how this will work out, especially the second stint where people are going through the heat peak without coming out of it potentially, in many respects for most of them, I'd imagine.
Right now you see on the live stream here is Phil Diaz typing in all the basic rules for the driver swap and how long the race is and what is required to do under the mandatory pit stops.
It just reminds me of an old sort of message board thing you used to get in rail stations, giving you the information for trains coming in. That would just sort of flip and show the next piece of information.
Even though Phil isn't that quick of a typer.
And he gets things wrong and couldn't spell between a minute ago, but yeah, we'll have a way with that.
I don't think anybody noticed, Chris.
I know that. I informed them that he is an idiot. Anyway, no, he's not an idiot. he's our good streamer today. He's our good streamer, Phil Diaz, and we should not abuse his position, as we're almost right, I think, now.
Yep, and we have most of the drivers getting told to ready up here inside the server. Thank you, just asking for the last clarifications from the drivers themselves and teams, seeing if there's any questions, and he's now giving out the ready to go sign.
User joined your channel.
And we are now joined by the infamous Chris Wilkinson.
Hello Dennis, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Chris. And how are you, sir?
I'm not too bad actually. I've just come back from racing IRL. So I'm tired, I'm dead, but
How did it go? Did you have rain?
Went well. I clean swept 3 heats and a final, all wins. So I'm happy.
That's nice, that's very nice. Congratulations. So you'll probably get some groupie love later on.
Sure
Off his mum. Anyway.
Uncalled for, Christopher.
I thought we were going ready there for a second, but it was just some lag. It's disappointing. Just a final clarification as to when they can overtake at the green flag. They can only overtake when the green flag is unfurled from Ben Keogh, our lead admin today.
And we have the ITTC car here by Studebaker in the safety car. And he's gonna lead the cars around for 1 lap, and then he's gonna let them go towards start finish line. And then it's racing time.
Wind speed 10 kilometers an hour. That's quite high for low, actually. Could play an interesting part in this race. Okay. Right, okay, so we're going to go through the grid now. On pole position in GT300, that's 3ID. In second, Race Star Convertible. Third, TDRT. In fourth position is Lone Lions. Fifth, Lanzarote Racing Team. Sixth, Conquest Racing. Seventh, that is Player Zone. Eighth, Genuine Racing. Ninth, Sonic Ground Racing, the first FXR. In 10th we have Speedo Racing. In 11th Core. 12th Gravity. 13th Last Lap Motorsports. 14th Team Reality. And in 15th position we have Serbian Racing Team, I think it is, isn't it? SRT.
And just on a side note here, we have the wind being northwest, so they're gonna have a slight backwind coming down the straightaway and headwinds coming into the first hairpins.
In GT300, on pole position, Lowland Lion. Second, Tiger Express Motorsports. Third, Speedo Racing. Fourth, Sonic Realms Racing. Fifth, Savage Sim Sports. In sixth position, we have Core Racing. In seventh, Vortex. In eighth, GTS. In ninth, Angel Power Racing. In 10th, Genuine Racing. 11th is Playerzone. 12th, TRT. 13th, Hellenic Racing. 14th, Glowing Pistons. And next is Pilote from Hell. And that rounds up the grid. Apart from our rescue guy, which is Jonathan Palmer. And he's not going to crash that like he did yesterday, I hope.
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest, Chris.
Just to confirm, car 24. That's interesting. For some reason, I don't have 24 on my confirmation thing. Why not?
So we have the cars coming up towards the last hairpin, and they should start getting up to double file here and get the whole grid bunched up. And yeah, soon we'll be racing.
Yes, just a clarification, it's Sprint Racing Team. They weren't on the initial confirmation. Somebody'd obviously pulled out and couldn't make it. So that's why, just to clarify, they're the last starters in GT500 as we come to the safety car line, and they'll start to file up for the final chicane. So it'll be interesting to see how this hands. Dakovic and Troila on the front row. Nops on the wrong side, gets on the right side now. As we come up toward the green flag. They'll start to bunch up a little bit closer. Come on guys, get a bit closer in this. I think it's TRT who are lagging back slightly. Come on TRT, forward a bit. As we come toward green flag zone, hopefully.
And we have a crash between Conquest and
the start's been aborted, the start has been aborted. Something was very, very strange the whole way through that. The start's been aborted, 2 leaders, the start has been aborted, stop accelerating away from everybody. Dakovic isn't listening, it seems, apparently. At the moment he's driving off, so he's racing. He's finally started to respect the aborted start, but that was a bit of a mess, shall we say. Which I'm quite surprised about, is that GT500 grid is vastly experienced.
User left your channel.
that means we're going to have a slightly longer race distance, and that's going to probably hurt some of the strategies here, as we're probably going to get the race extended by 1 lap. Not sure it's going to change the fuel strategies too much, since you don't use that much fuel going through safety car laps here, but we see people heating up their tires a lot to get them close to the heat pick as possible, so they can probably get some better tires coming straight off the grid and probably make a hole for everyone else.
And you've got to feel sorry for the GT500 people, sorry, GT300 people who did nothing wrong and have had their start aborted. So I think that all started because DDRT weren't in their correct position for some reason. They weren't anywhere near alongside or ahead of the lines, they were staying well behind, so the rest of the field bunched up, and well, that was a bit of an annoying incident for the start of this series.
And we have clarification from the admin teams that the race will not be extended, so this lap is actually counting for the official race.
Okay, so we're going to try again. This will also be a safety car restart, which will be single file, and leader will control the pace up until the line, then you overtake. You're allowed to overtake after the line at safety car restarts. I believe that's the case here as well, so here we go. Hopefully we won't have an accident this time.
And Nick is going. So now we have the whole field double fouling again from the GT 500 cars, and we're probably going to have a much cleaner start this time. TDT hanging slightly back again.
So it is going to be a double file restart. I misinterpreted that, but here we go again. TDRT needs to be further forward. Come on, TDRT, further forward. Well, we're going green anyway this time, and Dakovic and Charla get a good start, and Vichvari tries to come through on this contact between all three. This could be a big crash. Oh, crikey. 3ID gonna turn around eventually. 3ID into the wall, and that was 3 bits of contact there, and all 3 of them were lucky that it was only Dakovic who ended up in the wall there. And it's a disastrous start for my 3ID Gaming, who are at the back of the GT500 field immediately from that start. Up at the front, Raystar Convertible under pressure from Lowland Lions down into toward the hairpin section. It looks as though everybody else has made it through cleanly as GT300 get ready to go. Hopefully they'll have a slightly cleaner start at the front. It looks as though they're slightly better aligned, but back in GT500 it doesn't look as though Lowland Lions are going to get around the outside there of Raystar Convertible to the hairpin. As here go the GT300s. They're slightly better green, bunched up, and there goes the green flag. And the Lowland Lions are away, straight away. And it's 4 wide in some places down the back straight. As it looks as though Genuine Racing with a fantastic start. Vortex Motorsports almost onto the grass there on the inside. Look at that start for Genuine Racing. They're up to 3rd position by the looks of it. Tiger Express have lost out massively. We need to leave a bit more room than this into turn number 1 because we're going to have a crash here. And there we go. It's player zone off into the gravel trap. So a frantic start in both classes there. And a disaster for 3ID and a disaster for player zone.
Player zone is gonna get out. It looks like they're not stuck, luckily. That's very unusual for the XR, but he did a great job keeping the momentum going through the gravel there. Good job from player zone, and unfortunate going off the track there. He got left on the outside, and cars were braking, and he's just slightly clipped the back end of another car, and he went into the grass and couldn't really brake.
Yeah, just a bunch up into turn number 1 now in the GT300 class. Up at the front in GT500, it looks so Raystar Convertible pulled away slightly at the start of this race from Lowland Lions, from TDRD, who hold up in 3rd position. Savage Simsports have actually up in 2nd position as well. Ivanov and Shilnek, and Jenner and Speedo make contact in the fast flowing left-right. Tiger Express have to take avoiding action to get back up in their 5th position, I think that is for. But it's all cool really in this class, nice and tight so far. As we complete the first lap, Raystar Convertible leading, Lowland Lions, TDOT, Landrotty Racing, Speedo, and then Player Zone running at the top 6. Gap is around about 1.4 seconds within that lap, so Raystar Convertible away and gone after the battle down to the first hairpin.
Biggest loser of the first lap mayhem was my 380 and Player Zone GT350.
Yeah, an absolute disaster for pole position setters or pace setters through ID, but I would expect that they can come back through the field having their pace advantage. It certainly looked like there was 3 or 4 teams, and they were certainly one of them who had the advantage over the rest heading into this race. And I'd expect that Dakovic, who's mighty in pre-testing, is going to be seething a little bit now. He really wasn't involved in the contact between Lowland Lions and Raystar Convertible. There was a little bit of contact on the run down past the green flag between Dakovic and Charlotte, but it didn't really affect what happened after that. There was a bit of a concertina event, and I'm sure that the teams will be looking at that and looking to make protests against whatever happened there, because it really didn't look that clean. But anyway, that's for another time. And Ivanov and Vortex, oh my goodness gracious me, look at this is nicely packed, isn't it? And Ivanov is getting overtaken there. If I heard Phil Diaz squealing that something was going on between them and Tiger Express, and it seems as though Ivanov has been the loser there. He's got Cora behind him into the hairpin. down the inside can go. Core, Lesnar braking too late. He's going to side him. He's going to spin round Vortex. That was silly driving really from Core Racing there. And look, there's 3 cars being crashed out there. GTS, oh look at this, there's a complete and utter standstill in the hairpin. His car's trying to rejoin. Sonic Realms is involved. TDRT involved as well. And that really was all caused by the Core car, which got away completely scot-free, Dennis.
Yeah, I didn't really see
contact.
I didn't see that crash, but I see a lot of damage on the Angel Power team on the right rear tyre here. It's probably not the biggest amount of damage, and they probably don't have to fix it, but they are having some big damage here, and also on the Hellenic Racing team.
Yes, I think that was caused by people trying to rejoin in front of other people, which is a bit silly, but oh, sweeper crash apparently. We've got another crash, it's GTS who've gone off this time. Who were they involved with? I can't see at the moment. There we go, it's Hellenic Racing, yes, there we go. Deeper in the gravel trap than the F-Star, but again, an XR making it up the gravel trap nice and easy. But that's a lot of damage on the front of that Hellenic Racing F-Star, Dennis.
Yeah, but it looks to me like the GTS car has also got some front damage.
Oh, and look at this as well, at the front of GT500 we've got Lone Lions, a Danish racing team battling over second position down into the hairpin. They look nice and clean through there, just now leaving each other enough room, and it seems though that Lone Lions are going to continue in second position. There was a bit of a gap between these two, so maybe not. Maybe I'm
This
wrong,
is going to allow the Lanzarote team to catch up if this keeps going on. He had about a 2/10 quicker time coming through the first sector here because of the battle up in front.
And look at this as well, between Flair's on Sonic Realms, and is that Genuine Racing? It is Genuine Racing. Down the back straight, three cars battling. Sonic Realms in a bit of a pickle there. They're boxed in. Engel's going to get the run on them. Pretty brave if he wants to go around the outside. He does. Dominic Engel right around the outside. That FXR there. Riegler deciding at the end of the day it's better he backed out instead of having the draft of 2
And
cars, and that's allowed Core.
Cole.
Frantic action at the start of this race.
It's nice to see that with some close racing, and obviously crashes are going to happen, but you know, it's been good racing so far, and unlucky for some, but you know, it's inevitable when racing this close at these speeds.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's a real so far been a good sort of showing for a 90-minute race, sprint race basically. And apparently GT3 has had a problem. He's just passed according to Phil Diaz in my ear. That's them on the comeback trail, both of those cars after that incident to the hairpin last lap. Okay, there's a battle also between Savage Sim Sports and Speedo Racing for second position in GT3. Around 3 seconds to lead already. Lone Lions and GT3 seem to have pulled away at a pretty quick rate of knots at the moment. A little bit like what Race Convertible are doing in GT500, they are away at the moment. Wow, 1.3 seconds faster than Lone Lions that lap. Race Star Convertible Shoyla does the fastest lap of the race with a 39.86. Very fast pace for the start of this race. Dennis, do you think that could be Race Star Convertible running a slightly shorter stint to maybe have 2 equal runs for their drivers?
That looks very possible. It could be possible, or it could just be, you know, raw race pace, as he's been up there alone, not having any battle to worry about. And as we saw, Lowland Lions and the TDRT car had a small battle coming in through the hairpins, and that probably cost them time. But I think it is possible to do these sort of times on race fuel for a whole stint. So it's hard to say really.
And back to the battle of second in GT300 and Speedo Racing coming down the inside on the back straight. And that's a very easy pass really on Savage Sim Sports.
He's going to come back up towards the hairpin here. No, he backs out, but Silenek makes a small braking mistake here, and that allows Adelbo from Denmark to stay up behind going down to the chicane, and that's going to be hard for him to follow through here. But he holds on to it, and oh, he might get a turn under straight away.
Oh, he will. It's very nice chicanery.
But the
Can he
XR being
quite get
just a
there?
tad quicker than the straightaway, he's really struggling to get the toe here, but he's catching up meter by meter now.
He's getting there. Is he going to get there before turn 1? That's the question. He should do now. It looks as though he's got it
Yeah,
now,
he's going to
Dennis.
catch up just before the hill here. Yep, so
And-
Nick makes the defensive move here and he's going to try around the outside. That's not going to happen for T1.
Oh,
Ooh,
don't
he
get too
holds
wide.
onto it.
Ooh, that's
He
good.
holds onto it.
Just thought for a moment there he was going to catch a little bit of understeer and run off the track, but he's actually been able to go back down the inside for this little right-hand kink. He'll have the outside for the hairpin, which is a problem, but the FSR should have slightly better braking the XRR. He takes a nice wide line there. I think Shellneck's just going to hold on at the hairpin, and he does. No room for the cutback there, so Speedo should be into second position now.
But you will have the FZR here and having the, you know, from as he gets under power, he's going to have a lot more power, and Silanek makes a mistake here, and that caused the Savage Motorsport car to bunch up a bit and check up. So now they're going to have a battle coming down to the left-right sweeper here on the back straightaway. And this here being the headwinds on the track, so he's probably going to have a hard time getting around the outside of the Speedo racing here, as the XR should be a bit quicker than straightaway, so... Yep, and Silanek holds on to that position.
I think there we sort of saw in many respects the comparative difference between the cars with the massive air restriction, because they're able to follow a lot closer than they are in a GT1 or GT2 car. Or it appears certainly to me, because normally in that situation, that left-right corner, a Rebel would suddenly find a lack of front-end downforce and run very, very wide enough to get out of it. But he didn't lose that much through that corner, and he's still right on the back of Shillneck as we plunge through the tricky left-hander in Sector 2. And here's our four-car battle again, Dennis. Player zone, Speedo, and oh, the two Germans going at it. One Dominic Enkel, one Sasha Riegler, one XR, one FXR. And round the outside goes Riegler, pinged Dominic Enkel back for the move he made earlier. He's gone wide. He manages to keep on the track.
And Topingo is just, he's a bit further away than I thought. But it seems like Wimper is making some mistakes to that player zone XR there, and he's bunching up the people a bit here. But Chupenko, I believe, was in front of all of these guys just a few laps ago, so he might have some problems going around the track here.
And he certainly had a slow first split on this lap. Tyres don't appear to be in too bad condition. But he's running an R3 setup. That surprises me. I would have thought that most FZR teams, especially in a team like Speedo, would have gone with the R2 or R3.
Oh, and we have Dakovic making another mistake here, passing the gravity car, and he's back up to 12th now, and he has absolutely massive damage on the front, cosmetic damage on the body.
Look at his rear tyres as well. He's really been wrestling that thing around.
Yeah, his right rear is absolutely glowing.
Whoa, and in GT 300 we have Vortex and Sonic Realms getting very, very close in turn 1. Sonic Realms almost ending up at the gravel there, which would have been disastrous in the XRR. But some hard racing going on right throughout this GT 300 field just now.
Yeah, and we have the GT500 field catching up to the two backmarkers of the GT350 class here, and they're actually battling out for the second to last position at the moment. And Johannes Schuyler is going to catch up just before the hairpin here and probably get past around the outside here, yet he goes for it and he went cleanly by and not really affecting the battle between these two war cats.
Yep, those two who of course went off on lap 2 together. They went off twice together on that lap. And they seem to have been very, very close ever since. Inseparable at the moment. And we have Engel and Riegler have made contact. Gronfield Diaz and Arya into the hairpins there. Riegler now past Engel again. Unseen off camera. and two nice green cars. Is that three nice green cars all in a row there? But making contact, agreeing with envy of each other and getting together, it seems, on the track, envious of each other's positions.
And we actually, I think we're gonna have Blasco being held up by Popper in the GTS 350 car here. He's been held up. He was just catching up to the TDRT car of Knops here, and he's been held up a lot by the 350 grid coming through here. He was right up the back of TDRT car just before and was developing into a nice 3-car battle here for second.
And we have a side-by-side battle here between Player Zone and Angel Power Racing down to this hairpin double XR battle.
Also, the New Racing and the Core Racing car is battling out at the moment.
Are they?
On the front straightaway.
So they are.
Yep.
Both in the wars when they were battling last time. There's no car for Core to slide into this time in front of them, so they're going to end up at the gravel trap if they do that again. But they're going right around the outside of turn 1. That'd be interesting if he pulls that off. I think he has pulled off, Dennis.
Oh yeah, that was a great move by Mike Paluk there. Coming past Ivanov. I think he's going to have a hard time keeping it on the outside there, since FZR is slightly better on the braking here. Coming down to the very slow hairpin, one of the slowest corners on the track. And he brakes slightly early, and he's probably trying to make the cut back here, but he didn't quite make it.
Going for the second hairpin, no, he's just taking a tight entry, tried to scare the Core car off his balance, so he's going to get a nice run out of here.
He did a good job getting Mike there coming through the... You saw Mike did a slightly wider line and not allowing him to get up the power as he wanted to. And now Genuine Racing is, side by side coming down to the left-right sweeper.
Nice little
and again, you saw the massive impact on the slipstream because of the headwind again.
Yep, nice clean move there again. Really nice little battles out there on track. In fact, Knops has actually closed the gap to oh, hello, there's a car there in front of them. Oh, that was almost very, very close there for Knops. Oh, but Landroid Racing Team are going to get full force that GT300. The GT300 seemed to be a bit, I think it was Vortex actually, who were a bit sort of not really aware of how many cars were going past them and where they were on track. And there's another car up there who's off. I think that's Sonic Realms by the looks of it, coming back on the track with the
Landroid battle between my 3D and Gravity, so I just got you out there, Chris.
Oh, hello, and Bakovic goes around the outside.
A very sleek move there from Nicky. That's the battle between Last Lap Motorsports and Gravity.
There's Nicky cutting through this traffic like knife through hot butter at the moment. There's Gravity, look at the back of Last Lap Motorsports for 14th position it will be. David Dakovic is only in 13th place at the moment. 12th. Oh yeah, sorry, my LFS updates itself. Wonderful. A little bit of lag there for the Gravity FX on there, but he's got a very nice run. That Frankie went back over. He hits the back of the Last Lap Motorsports car, which was doing a little bit of a wiggle out that corner. And they climb up the hill now. Bjorklund out of the draft, back into the draft now. He's got the run. He's going to go for the outside line, but looks like he backs out of it. That's strange. I would have thought he would have gone for that there. But no, he backs out of it and stays behind Last Lap Motorsports with
It is possible to pass around the outside coming through that corner. I know that.
Didn't you do that in IGTC? IGTC 2010? Yes, I seem to remember commentating on that move. And look at this, he's got the run. Oh, and then he shifts up too early, loses the momentum, but somehow gets the momentum back. Very, very slow FZR, I have to say, for the Last Lap Motorsports. What are you doing, Last Lap Motorsports? Get away, or is it lag? I hope that was lag, because for some reason Last Lap Motorsports turned into him. And Spirit Racing.
Oh, no, and again, contact, and he goes off the track and spinning out in probably flat spots and ruined tyres.
Well, only I think that the car that was doing all the strange driving there is the only one that got any real bad damage from that, or bad karma from that, and that's probably the deserved thing. I don't really understand why last time Watchworks doing the whole of that straight there, but anyway. Angel
and
Power
battle
Racing
between Player Zone and Angel Power Racing and Dimitrov of GP Team.
Yeah, that was I think there was a bit of confusion there with the pad markers getting involved with the GT500 car there, because that was a bit tight there for Conquest Racing, and there's a little bit of contact between the XRs there into the hairpin.
And here we have the TDRTs really closing the gap on lowland lines at the moment.
As Hellenic Racing, they make the move stick, they do, yes they do, on GTS. These two are still nose to tail. They have been, I think, every time we've watched them so far in this race.
Yeah, ever since lap 4 I think they've been battling out. It's nice. We have a car lagging a lot. That was wrong. Winsper's timeout from the players on GT500 team. That's really unfortunate. They were doing really good up there.
Yeah, that's a shame, considering what I'm seeing from Al, who's doing really well. But we also have apparently SR Vortex Core and Tomczyk trying to get through the ball. Oh no, that's not going to go well. Vortex get out of it. Sonic will slightly get out of it as well. Hang on, wait a minute. What? Why is that Tomczyk pump drafting the core car past the wall?
And here he goes, around the outside, coming into the hairpin. Nope. Oh, he makes the cutback. Oh, slightly sliding, he lost all the momentum. He's not going to make it side by side coming into the chicane here. He's letting off quite a lot now. See if he can get a run through the chicane here. Oh, yeah, he's definitely got it. There was a small mistake from the core car there. Let's see where this FXR is going. Oh, oof, that was tight. They're going both sides around him.
It's Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher, Ricardo Zonta.
Yep.
There was some good driving there from the back markers and these two down the back straight there to avoid contact with the two back markers and get them both around safely.
Coming to T1.
As we go side by side again, and Tomczyk makes the dive and looks to a bit stick this time, Dennis.
Yeah, he makes it stick this time, and I don't think Roger is close enough to get the toe on them, but let's not forget, Niki Dakovic is just about a second behind those two, so we're probably going to get another battle here coming soon.
Looks as though the front of GT 500, the Schroeder's pace advantage seems to have dropped off a bit now. It seems to low lines have actually stabilised that gap a little bit more than they were doing, and they've started to put a gap between themselves and the Danish racing team, who have Lanzarote racing team right behind them now. So that's going to be an interesting battle in the next few laps, I suspect. Dennis Feltias telling us players on in the wars again in GT300, and they are, because they're at the back of GP Racing, Glowing Pistons Racing, and they're up the inside. They're going to make it through there. I think almost a bit of contact there between two cars. And there we go, up another place with them, who unfortunately crashed off, of course, in the first lap of this race. But they're making steady progress at the moment, just like 3IDR, the other car, who massively lost out at the start following a bit of an odd incident. I'd have to have a look at that one again after the race to see exactly what was going on there, but it was interesting to say the least. We were getting told that
Tomczyk and Tomczyk battling out, and I think Tomczyk made a pass on Cambers there. Yeah, he did, and that was coming to the last hairpin. And here we have Niko Dakovic and Aruju of Core Racing battling out, coming towards the chicane now, and I think Nick is going to have a draft coming down the straightaway here. See if he makes the chicane stick. It's really hard to keep close through here, and he does it. He's right up the bumper of Aruju now. See if he goes past instantly. Yes, he does. Around the outside, going through the small kinks here on the straightaway. Oh, side by side. Aruju keeping it inside nicely. And I think, oh, he's not really made it clear yet. He's still on the inside and he backs out in the last moment possible. Good move by Nicky there.
Yeah, looking at Arujo's power through the chicane on the last 2 laps when we've been following on battling Conquest and now battling Dakovic, it was very, very interesting to watch that car twice and sort of not really ride the curves very well, and it seems that their suspension in that core racing car isn't as good as the other teams riding the curves. It seems, just seems a bit of a handful through there, and it's letting them be passed by the cars down that front straight rather easily. And Campars is stuck in traffic actually ahead of Dakovic. It wouldn't surprise me if Dakovic was making a move on him very, very quickly on this next lap. I've got another car timing out. Who is it this time? It is Pavars for Tiger Express, who were 4th in their class. That's a hard vote for them.
I think Blasco has gone off the track here because he's far behind TDLT car at the moment. He was about 1.5 seconds behind and now he's 4 seconds behind at least. And Powers connects to the 7 and loses connection instantly. That's very unlucky.
Yeah, Blasco's lost about 8 seconds on this lap somewhere, so something's gone wrong for him on part of this track.
Niki Dakovic is really, really close to the campus now, and he is gonna probably make a move down this back straightaway. Yeah, he has to tow, so he's probably gonna try and if he can get around on the outside here, as Camber's most likely gonna take the inside here. And the pit window's now open. So let's see if anyone's going to take the first few laps here to come into the pits.
I thought at this point somebody would have, but if you got damage I suppose it makes sense to pit as early as you possibly can. But yeah, I think that Dakovic is a man on a bit of a mission at the moment to get as many points as he possibly can after that nightmare first lap, and I think that it's not entirely it's not entirely implausible to suggest he might finish 4th in this race. I think the top 3 seem to be a bit far away. Blasco's mistake seems to have dropped him back into Dakovic's grasp, I think, at the moment. But and still 22 laps of this race to go.
Yep, and we have a Players Zone team and Angel Power Racing team in a close battle here, coming down towards the chicane now. They've been nose to tail basically the whole lap, and we're probably going to see them developing into a side-by-side door-to-door action here in a second. Oh, Dolinik hard over the curbs there.
Ooh.
That was 4 tyres off the ground there, that was... Oh, and Ella is off somewhere on the track. They've spun, I've heard from Phil Diaz in my small ear here. Yep, that dropped into 3rd position, allowed TDLT to take the 2nd spot, and Lancer Rhodes is now back in the mix for top 3.
Indeed, that means Dakovic isn't back in the mix for top 3. Looks though there's a bit of cosmetic damage to Mint. Timo even was trying to tell me how to pronounce his name yesterday in the broadcast, but anyway, we've got other things going on. Conquest, something's happened to Conquest. Whoa, hello. They've dropped way back.
Lots of damage to that front end of the car. Let's see if that's going to affect the braking here, the turning even. Doesn't seem so. Oh, but that front is really, really, really close to the ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if that's scraping in certain corners. That'll really not affect handling. I noticed also, by the way, one driver, we'll have to keep an eye on Sonic Realms actually, because Sonic Realms GT500, because their 2nd driver has appeared on the server, so I wonder if they're going to make an early pit stop and try to go the rest of the race with their FXR car.
They're actually in a really good spot for their FXR right now. They're in 6th, and that's really, really surprising there. They've probably been feeding off other people's unlock and just hanging in there basically, but they have very, very, very cold tyres right now.
Yeah, they've gone R4 or 3, so well, I suppose you have to in the FXR on this track, but I would be surprised if they were to come in now. I'd think that I'd be very surprised if they're coming now. I think that's a bit of a loose lead, but they are coming into the pits. Something must be wrong. Can I imagine something is wrong with that car for Rigo to be coming in and handing over to Samsa Giovinazzo?
And Dakovic sets his own race PB at 39.88, and that is about 1 second quicker of the stable pace of Dominic Engel in front of him in the Genuine Racing XRR. Blasco and Vinjavi are really, well, Lanzarote team are really catching up to Vinjavi now.
Through these pit stop, Dakovic is actually up to 7th position now, so he's really cut through most of the sort of midfield GT500, and he's really now closing in, angling in on the top 6. It's Dakovic really is in a good position. I think he's within 20 seconds of 3rd position, so it wouldn't be beyond realms of possibility if Nicky was to make it to the podium. I suppose it depends on how Tomek Nozick goes in his car, and we're hearing Phil Padilla something else has happened. Bjorklund and Cabars. Ooh, that was close. That was very, very close going to that left right-hander. Bjorklund almost flying off into the gravel there. Cabars really just wanting that position quite badly there.
Oh, we have Blasco catching up quicker to Vinjavi now. He caught him 2/10 by the last sector here. So we're probably going to see a battle for 3rd even. Yep, and he should be in the toe for the straightaway if he nails the chicane. Let's see here. Oh, Vinjavi making a small mistake, but I don't think that's enough for Lanzarote team to catch up to him. No, it's not.
Really a lot of damage on the Lone Lions car, so I don't really understand why the pace seems to have dropped off from Matty at the moment. Let's call him Matty because I can't get his last name correct at all. So I don't really understand why the pace has sort of dropped off slightly at the moment. Apparently, our race leader's force feedback has failed on his wheel. I don't know whether that's during the race, that's nobody. I'm just getting the information from Phil Diaz that his force feedback has gone. So that's he's still keeping up a fair pace if that's happened during the race, Dennis. That'll be quite an interesting moment for the race leader if all of a sudden his force feedback stopped working on his wheel.
To be honest, right now I don't see that slowing him down.
It's strange, isn't it? If that's happened during the race, as we've just been told, and then it's crazy. He's a crazy driver, crazy old top machine. Haven't seen much of him in recent years, but this is top machine at his best. That was a bit leery though through there. I could see why it was being a bit of a guesswork through there.
I'm comparing the Lowland Lions right now, the car between Lanzarote and Lowland Lions. It looks like the whole geometry of the car, of the rear right wheel, has been knocked in a little bit, and that should give him some more understeer and oversteer in some corners. So that might be why Vinjavi is struggling at the moment. But here we go. Lanzarote team should be having a tow now.
Indeed, it looks like it. Up this hill. No, he seems to drop back. Higher wings potentially, I think the Lanzarote team have there on their setup.
Maybe some engine.
Could be.
He's really, really hard on the
Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh!
What was that? Oh, Venjavi just totally braked way too early then. Blasco just flew off the inside of him. I think...
Oh, something's wrong.
I don't know what that was.
Something's wrong with Ventura's car. Did you see the way that it was sort of steering into the corner there? Something isn't right with this Lowland lines. I wonder if Benkyo's information is not correct, and it might be Ventura who's got the problem with this wheel. Because his wheel driving is a bit odd.
He's not doing the best of flying at the moment. We have Björn and Cambers in a small battle now. And Cambers making it clear on the outside coming down straight away, but Björklund is in the draft now coming into T1, and he makes it side by side, and let's see if he's going to make the pass down here. And he is... Oh, Cambers is just shutting the door on him, and Björklund didn't make it to stay even though he was far up the inside. It seemed like Cambers had to go a bit of throttle there coming through the corner since he was overshooting the corner a little bit. Björklund has made it past him so far. They're side by side coming down to the first sap in here. Oh, he's on the outside now and can't really do anything from that position. Is he going to try to make the cutback? He tries to do it but doesn't really have quite the torque to do so. It looks to me like Cam is just really trying to make a defensive line here coming through the hairpins, and he was really turning in early trying to cut off any sort of passing maneuver from Björklund here, but Björklund goes through the inside, coming down to left-right speedboat, and he has made it past and he is clear. Sort of clear, yeah. And he following through there is just not possible. So here comes Tomczyk on campus. And he's going to try to make it past him. Oh, Campus make a small mistake and sliding all the way up the hill. Tomczyk on the outside now. Oh, he's not going to do that. Oof. Campus is just all over the place with that rear end. He's really, really loose. Tomczyk trying to inside it, it's possible, but ooh, he makes it stick. Very nice pass there from Tomczyk. And he's going to have the inside from the long left-hander here. Small bit of contact there. And that's going to allow the Spirit car to catch up down the straight, I think. No, he's a bit too far behind.
Yeah, some good driving there again. Very, very close racing between first Björklund and Campars. Like Campars massively losing out, it must be said. You can really see the draft between the GT3 going through that corner and the GT500 when they go through side by side. But yeah, that was some good opportunistic driving. Then they have Tomczyk on Campars.
Papa and Menucci is going at each other. Yeah, they're going at each other. And ooh, slight contact. He's sliding all the way on the exit of that corner. That was a very nice move from Papa there.
Papa seeming to have got away from his lifelong partner, Pers, in the Atlantic Racing Team. And now he's got a new foe to deal with in player zones, Menucci. Pers has slipped quite a fair... Oh, bye Dennis. But Pers has slipped quite a fair bit back actually from his erstwhile foe. Oh, Nicky Dakovic on the exit of the hairpin and very, very nearly onto the grass there, the My3ID car. That shows how much Dakovic is pushing to try and catch up to these front six. He really is a man on a bit of a mission, seeing red at the front of his car and driving as though his life depends on it. Really, if they do end up with a podium here today, I think that this stint will certainly be a key catalyst.
And I saved the replay just before and looked at the styling, and it really just looked like the three of them just got together really, because it was sort of tree wide and one poking his nose and then didn't get left any room, and looked like Nikita made a small twitch and got turned. So that probably caused the whole thing, and seemed to me like Nick had a massive lag and he just got slowed down like 50 kph and suddenly was just standing still. And Dre's has gone off, Spirit Racing and Gravity.
Oh yes, they are. Spirit Racing
Massive
as well.
left front damage on that Spirit car. Massive damage. They're gonna have to pit. This is just massive damage. There's no way they can drive with that for a stint. No way.
I wonder if something happened there when I first heard Bjorklund was off. So I wonder if Bjorklund came back on track maybe a little bit and collected Spirit Racing. Maybe. Okay, I'm here. I am correct in that assumption because I heard Phil Diaz screaming like a little girl for a second, so something was clearly happening. So that is indeed, he confirms what happened or what he saw. Bjorklund coming back on the track, having gone off and collecting this poor old Spirit Racing team who's really been completely destroyed. I mean, that's 3/4 of a car now. It's not really got a front left wheel, and we're starting to see people coming in the server, Dennis.
Yeah, we see shortest Robert Toby coming into the server now. It's funny to see. Normally we have the King's brothers, but now we have the Charlotte brothers, and that's probably a better mix. Presumably.
Yeah. Let's let's stay clear of those sort of subjects. Anyway, I wonder how he will compare to his illustrious race leading brother. Oh, hello! We got a puncture for Core. Core have a puncture to 45 minutes.
That's very early. I think you might have had some. Whoa, yeah, that is pretty thin indeed. But they're running out 2 or 3. You see, if you have just the slightest a bit of understeer with those R2 front tires, you're just gonna have a pop this early in the stint. I mean, you know, they're really, to be honest, they're only like 30 minutes into a proper stint here on the tire wise, and this is really surprising to see. But they've probably just had too much understeer, maybe a few flat spots, and that's all that's needed for R2.
You can see that. Look at what we can see, but their rear tires are in pretty good shape. So I can only assume that their setup has not been optimized very well for R2 or 3.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Must have gone to turn 1. It's rather unlucky. That's the longest. Well, no, I think it is the longest actually lap in Live for Speed. So to get back to the pits with a front left puncture on this track is going to be a bit of a challenge, I'd say. I don't think any of the other tires are in danger of popping, so it should be alright. Yeah, you can actually. I wonder. Hang on, wait a second. Does he have? No, he doesn't actually have damage. It's quite curious, sort of. It's quite curious wear actually on the front left tire. If you look at it as well, it seems as though. It hasn't really worn anywhere else other than that shoulder, so I wonder if they've possibly got a bit too much camber on that setup as well.
It could be. But yeah, well, you see all the front tires of the Lancer in pits now. That was a very early pit stops from them, and also TDRT is in the pits as well, so they're probably going to make a, halfway pit stop here.
Indeed, and away does go. That's a GT300, and away goes TDRT, still ahead of Lanzarote Racing, who are still
long
in pits.
Pit stop from Lanzarote. Very long pit stop indeed. Oh, that was a very slow start from Penny there. I don't know what happened there, but it seemed like he was not really following the track a lot.
We've also got some driver change in GT300. We have piloted De Hell, or have changed drivers. I think I'm right in saying this is going to be LFS's first Indian driver on I think he is the first Indy driver that I can think of off the top of my head to drive in a sort of top level event. So congratulations to him for that.
Yeah, and Canberra's he on I think he didn't hit here lately, but yeah, he's passing Tujivari, who just came out of the pits here.
Yep,
Also
get up to
clear.
speed there. Bjork going right behind them as well. It'll be interesting to see how much further some of these teams do go, because I can only imagine that some of the R2-3 teams will have gone R2 or 3 just to sort of do maybe a 45-50 minute stint. And as they might be as confident as some of the more experienced sort of GT1 teams in R2 or 3 with a GT1 car. Because it can work, can't it? Certainly on Aston track, going an hour or maybe just slightly over an hour with the FSR with R2 or 3. Problems with Speedo GT. That's strange. I think that must just be a bug. I was going to say problems for them, but I think it's a similar bug to one we had yesterday in GT2 World Series with the driver changes. Actually, Phil Rose is connected for a race-car convertible, so this will be Schuyler coming into the pits at the end of this lap. 20 laps out of 35 complete, so that would be how long? 50 minutes, something like that, I think. So.
And just coming into T1, LLL just got really held up from the Speedo GT350 car here, coming through T1. Oh, GT3 on it, sorry.
Yeah, but interesting to see how much further maybe will Lions go. It'll be quite interesting to see if they were the only team maybe that had 55 plus minutes in their fuel tank.
And we have Robin Heidemann coming in from Genuine Racing GT500 car here. And I know he's going to be very quick around here, he's done loads of practice.
Sonic Rams tied out Dennis, number 3, car number 3, the FXR. Samsung Avanti timing out there for them. What's a blow for them?
Yeah, they were doing really good too, that's really unlucky. But you know, it's really exciting to see because we're not really seeing normal pit stops here. We are seeing some midway pit stops, and that's really unusual. At least for me to see that people are actually pitting before they are having to do. I mean, it's way shorter stints than what we will see in MOE or IGTC, for instance.
Whoa! Spanko with a huge, massive drift under pressure for Dominic Engel down the into sector 2. And Engel, where are you going, Dom? That's a curve you don't want to go over. But Spanko was really having 2 or 3 tank slaps on the way down there, and they both get around this traffic, this GT300 traffic. But that was a close call there for the Speedo GT500 driver. And look who's coming, Nicky Dakovic, who's trying to make
That's
collision. Dakovic punctured. Nicky tried to dive bomb on the GT300 there, down the inside into the hairpin, and he left it way too late, and he really should have. Oh, now he's going to completely screw up their batter. What are you doing, Nicky? Get out of it. Oh, Nicky. That was some pretty silly driving there for Dakovic. You might feel as though, well, I'm in the higher up class, I should come through, but quite honestly, Nicky, that was too much of a dive bomb on the 77 Speedo car, who turned in for the corner at their normal braking zone, and Dakovic. And now he's taken a very, very obtuse entry to the pit lane, but he really did screw up himself there. He braked, and he got the draft of the car in front and locked up his tyre massively for at least 20 metres and blew his front right tyre. So it'll be a scramble for 3ID to get their second driver into the pit lane now, because I'm sure that wasn't part of the plan. Van Nojek is in the car, and away he goes. So 3D just about survive and get away with that in the final corner. But Dakovic really should have thought that one through a bit more, I would have said.
we're having a small battle here between Speedo and Racer, even though they're not on the same pit cycle here. It's gonna have a battle. What is Speedo doing? What is Speedo doing?
Jabenko deciding that he didn't want to let Phil Rose any room at all, so just shoved him onto, well, shoved into him basically.
Oh, he's in trouble now. Uh-oh. He's in between the three GT300 cars here. Ooh, massive slide from Jabenko. Massive slider.
He's another driver we haven't seen in a while, and he's certainly making his presence re-known at the moment. That's some interesting slides and collision with Phil Rose, and yeah. Welcome back, Mr. Jabenko. Oh!
SRS off. I think they miscalculated Jabenko coming on the inside here, and he just braked a bit too late, though.
No Jack spectates.
What is this?
3AD spectates. What on earth? Why is 3AD spectates? What's going on with 3AD? Now he's timed out?
He might have had computer lag and had to shift this maybe.
I know
here
that
comes
he
Simon
does
Cattell
sometimes
from LLL, so they're gonna pit now, I think.
I know sometimes IMO does get blue screens of death quite often, so maybe something's going on there. It's a poor race for Pro 3AD, who really, I thought were going to be the team to beat here today. They put in a lot of effort, and there we go, they're out of the race.
That is very unlucky. It's been quite an utopia for them, this race. Oh, we have LLL on very, very, very thin front tyres at the moment.
I suppose they'll be in this lap because Cattell is on the server to take over. So I assume they'll be in this lap anyway.
Yeah, it's not much sliding he has to do before those tyres are gonna pop. Both rear tyres and front tyres were very, very thin.
Oh, crikey, yes they are indeed, crikey. "13 laps to go here today, and this first ever Super GT race. It's been fairly interesting so far, certainly plenty of action to keep us entertained and occupied.
Yeah, I'm running out of breath here. It's been constantly action here. It's been very, very nice to see. Very big, fresh breath of air into the first beer. It's been a very, very surprising and good first race here for the Super GT series. Yep, and we have the two LLL cars here, bunched up together. The beautiful red and yellow cars. Mariotto in a small slide and letting his teammate by. Sorry, they're actually red, yellow and black. And a lion on the side.
And a pretty lion, anyway, no. We've got an interesting battle here between GTS and Genuine Racing in GT300. It's Poppa versus Gasunas. I don't think Poppa's pitted yet, and Gasunas looks as though he's just come out of the pits. I think the battle's actually over now that we've gone to it. I think the battle's now over as Antonsen gets a stop-go penalty. I can only assume that was coming out of the pit lane. Oh, it's because they changed the roster at the last minute, apparently. Stop-go penalty for changing roster, I see. Also supposed to be Sean Williams, I think he was driving that car, and it's Antonsen who's in the car just now, so that explains that one then.
When Chavi's going into the pits now, and he's not popping the tyre on the entry, and it looks to me like there was just a bit of thread left on those tyres. Just enough for him to get into the pits and make the swap with Mr. Simon Cattell here.
And Phil Rose comfortably goes by into the lead, so it's still a pretty good, comfortable lead for Racestock Convertible, who look pretty invincible here today.
Conquest into the pits as well. Looks like this is the big pit round. 4 GT500 cars in the pits and another GT300 car.
Looks the lone line will be
Canberra
ahead
in from
of...
PT500.
Looks the lone lines will still be ahead of Danish Racing Team, just about, yep. About 3 or 4 seconds gap there. So they're second, TRT third if they're pit stop. But here's all action now, Dennis, in the pit lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of action. Oh, and we see the genuine racing car making the lead on everyone. They're up to 4th now. That is some amazing stuff. So 4th in the professional official results, or
yeah, that,
standings.
The biggest losers were definitely Landroy Racing Team with their strange slow stop. The last car to pit is 66. Ooh, 72 having a... That's the our first ever Indian LFS driver in a top league event, having a bit of a fun time there with his FXR, going for a little bit of a drift there, Dennis. Might want to check his rear tyres. Don't know how you get your rear tyres to be very, very hot in the FXR. That's a very overseas setup they seem to have there on that FXR.
I don't quite like commenting on FXR, so I don't know. I never driven the car officially.
Last car to pit is now into the pit stop. Everybody with 12 laps to go, having made their one and only pit stop. For Touchwood, of course. So it's a straight fight to the finish now.
Oh, and a very, very close call from Savage Racing. Savage Sim Sports, isn't it? And
yes.
It's Arabo and Dal having to change drivers, and actually saw Nika coming into the server just as his teammate was doing his pit stop.
Oh, Dennis, remember the core car that had the puncture after about 25-30 minutes? If you look at their tyres again, they're pretty hot, and I think we can now definitely see why they were having problems with the front end. That car looks more understeery than oversteery.
Yeah, it looks like they're about 110 degrees, and even the same on the rear end, so they're definitely having too much understeer on that car for that kind of tyre setup. So that's unfortunate, and probably bad amount of setup developing there.
Whoa, bit of contact between Lombardi and Bordai. Lombardi was lapping the GT300 there. Lombardi for Player Zone, and it's put the Player Zone GT3 car right up alongside the GTS car, of course, down to the hairpins. These two after driver change still very, very close together. Can GTS stick up the inside of Player Zone? No, they let them go. Player Zone slightly deep into the corner. Can GTS get on the exit? No, no chance there really. Player Zone away and up another position in GT3.
And we have Penny and Vivian pretty close to each other. And Penny has, in the Lancer Road Racing Team car, has catched up a little bit to Egan Levy on here in the Speedo car. So we're probably going to see a battle developing here between those two guys in a second here, as they catch up to Gladys Casinas in the junior racing car. And that was the end of the pit stop rounds, as the pit window has closed. So only wrecked cars are let into the pits now.
Libyan and Penna get very, very close, Dennis, down to the pit straight.
Yeah, Libyan made a small mistake coming out of the chicane there, and that's allowed Pena to catch up to him, and he's definitely got the toe now, and he's should be looking to make a move. Oh, that was a very close move from Egan Libyan. That slowed him down more than he wanted to gain, I think.
Oh, that was tight.
Yeah. Oh, and he makes it around the outside of Libyan there. Very close racing, and oof. Yeah, that was a close call there from Egan. Very aggressive move when not quite as he wanted to, and we have a yellow flag showing up somewhere.
Why is there a yellow flag? What's the Oh, it's... Oh, hello. No, this is going to go badly. Just keep going, FXR. It's the Pirates to Hell. I thought he was going to stop in the middle of the hairpin there. He seems to have had a massive crash, but judging by the look of his car, it's sort of crabbing a little bit as well. He's got his hazard lights on. It's not that badly damaged actually. I think most of it's cosmetic, so he could just carry on normally. Oh, TDRT GT300 have gone off in turn number 1 as well in the FXR, so FXR's not having the best of laps there, because that's where the Imagine Car 72 went off as well to get their massive damage. Looks like TDRT have got away with most of it, and here come Martins. Oh, there's a third car off in this lap. Koskinen's off as well for Vortex, so 3 cars in 1 lap on the same bit of track, having a massive
I don't know
spin.
if Mr. Ragash has done any practice laps around here. He's going very slow on the track, and that's quite unsafe for the drivers, and doesn't really look like the damage on the tires should be affecting him that much. He's just really crawling around the track now. I don't know what he's doing.
Something for you in TeamSpeak chat, Dennis, by the way. Anyway, so with just 11 laps to go now, it does seem as though, certainly in GT500, that the gap is stable between all the front cars now that Pena's got past Libyan. Libyan trying to come back at him, but we'll see.
It's I don't know what to say. Our friend Rakesh is just going slower on the track.
I think he's
is he gonna go into the pit and park it?
I think so.
He...
No, I think he just thinks he's damaged quite a lot, and it's not really that much damage, but it shouldn't really be affecting the car as much as he seems to think it is. So I suppose he's just being cautious, trying to make it back to the pits, and there he goes into the pits. But I think he could have done a...
He's keying in the clutch and downshift as well. Yeah. So we made it into the pit, surprisingly, and we are back on the track with battle somewhere.
And Last Lap Motorsports are about to go at it. I think Martin's catching them quite quickly. I think they must have done the damage repair, because that car looks pretty new at the moment, and they did have damage in the first stint, and they were ahead of Last Lap Motorsports, so Martin's catching up pretty quickly at the moment to Last Lap Motorsports in the battle for 10th position.
Yep, and we're gonna have a rundown through the grid here, and let me get my team list up here, and it is Team Racetime first, Lowland Lions second, the Danish racing team in third, Genuine Racing closing them, and fourth, and Lanzarote team racing team in fifth, Speeder Racing, Conquest Racing in seventh, the Reality Racing team in eighth, Core Racing, Last Lap Motorsport rounding out the top 10 of GT500. Gravity Racing is catching them up in 11th, Spirit Racing team 12th, Player Zone 13th, and we have the Lowland Lions in the GT300 leading. Savage Sim Sports in second of the GT300, Genuine Racing in third, Speeder Racing, Core Racing following them in fifth, Player Zone, and GTS Motorsports, and the Danish racing team in top 8, Angel Power Racing team and Vortex Motorsport rounding out the top 10, Sonic Realms in 11th, and Hellenic Racing team 12th. 11th is Flying Pistons, Tiger Express Motorsports 14th, and Pilots from Hell with our friend Dash Krishan in 15th, running last.
Hello, what's going on here? Why are you... What? Oh dear, I think Miko Merilito just saw a cookie in the gravel trap there because he just drove into the gravel by the looks of it for no reason while honking his horn at Samsu Yuvatsu lapping him. I mean, what are you doing, Miko? Stay on the track now, you're in the lead. You don't want to find cookies in the gravel trap today like you were in the 16-hour race. Come on, Miko, keep it together. Oh dear, oh dear.
But then again, look at the gap. He has time for that sort of thing. He could go into the pits and have a cup of coffee and come out again and still be in the lead by 4 seconds at least, without burning his tongue.
Oh dear, it's just... typical Miko. Anyway.
And also it looks like the GT500 grid is sort of... Wait, no. Kornpus and Kiesner is gonna have a little scramble here as Kiesner is catching up a lot to the Kornpus car here. Ooh, and he's gonna make the pass. He's gonna make the pass somewhere. Ooh, going around the outside, coming up to the left-hander, left kink. And let's see if he can make it pass. Ooh, Kornpus is very, very loose coming out of that corner, and he makes the pass stick and not the stick pass. Yep, and that makes Core Racing 8th.
Apparently I might have missed contact between the two, between the LL XR and the SR FXR. So it must be masked by all the honking they were doing to each other. So at least that makes more sense to why Miko when I want to go in that gravel trap.
And Mr. Rakesh has done another pit stop now. He, yeah, did a pit stop.
Interesting enough, Racer might be in a bit of cruise control at the moment after their first stint, but could tell is actually the faster driver at the moment, catching quite a fair rate of knots on Phil Rose, but I think Rose is just easing it in the last 7 laps, taking no risks.
Last 7 laps, there's 10 laps to go. Wait, no, my bad. I was watching the wrong car. But yeah, I think Simon has to catch about at least 1.5 seconds per lap to actually close this gap. That's at least, so probably 2 or something seconds per lap, and that's going to be very hard to do, and Phil Rose is going to have some misfortune for Simon Cattell to catch up, but really Raystar has had an almost flawless race so far, and they seem like the car is probably the most unscathed of any of the cars on the track at the moment. But Phil Rose is making some bad mistakes at the moment, coming into the last hairpin here, overshooting the corner a little bit.
Yeah, the gap's gone down by 1.7 seconds on this lap. Crikey.
That's
Phil
good
Rose
for
430.
if you can have a ending stage battle here between LL and Raystar. I mean, these two teams would be what you would call top teams in this. LL being in the old NX team and been pretty unbeatable since it's ever started. And yeah, let's see if we can get something going here.
Tail takes 2.7 seconds on that lap. It's down to 18.1 seconds the gap. Don't think he's got enough time, but he'll give it a go.
He shouldn't give up.
And Core Racing in GT500 are closely followed by Kronpus, who seems to be catching slightly. Though I might be wrong again, like I was between Last Time Motorsport and Grav T, and Core could just go past Kronpus. Who knows? Core's front tyres look a little thin again, but should make the last 7 laps, I'd imagine.
And Simon again catching about 3/10 in the first sector alone. Chris, I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen one single flip yet, seeing we both have buses and XRs on the track.
And laggy people as well, notorious lag meisters as well. And I suppose that we came close to the start with the interesting lag going on at the start of the GT500 race. I think I could have ended up in a flip. But yeah, I think that'll come later in the season. Something's bound to happen at South City with close competition. Oh goodness me, GT500s and GT300s on the track at the same time. You're going to have, I would say, GT300s not being able to let the GT500s past all the way around the second sector until the hairpin basically hit that track. So that's going to be interesting. I'm sure there's a recipe for a flip in a bad situation there, that's for sure. I think that's going to happen.
And hopefully me winning that race too.
Just add to the aggression.
Thank you, Chris.
Phil Diaz said something about a battle on track, but I didn't quite get it. What did you say? Okay,
that puts
okay, yeah. So.
Genuine Racing in second. What?
Yep, Genuine Racing passed Savage team.
Ooh, and he made a mistake here. We might see a battle between these two cats. Let's see.
I thought there was a bit of a gap last time I looked at these two.
Yeah, ooh, Kashuna's having dirt on his tire, and that allowed Dowell to catch right up to his back bumper, and we're probably going to see a good battle here between those two guys. I've raced a lot with Dowell and Kashuna's both on the car game server, and I know both of them are very good and aggressive, clean drivers, so we're probably going to see a very good battle here developing. This is going to be absolutely exciting to see. Dal being very experienced with the GT2 cars, and also Kashunas has basically done nothing else in GT2 so far, so this is going to be a good battle. Kashunas sort of keeping the middle spot on the track here, and Dal is going for the pass here, and he makes it stick. Kashuna's still on the back bumper, so if he doesn't mess up the chicane, we should see a battle down the front straightaway here. Seems like he's going through. Ooh, no, a bit wide. A bit wide there. But yeah, he's still in the draft. So battle for top 2 here in the closing stages of the race. This is absolutely top-level action for the racing here.
I know Claudius Kashunas yesterday was most disappointed to time out from a podium position within the last hour at GT2 World Series finale. And a podium he would certainly make up for that. He's on to second position just now. Dal right behind him, looking to make the outside line stick, but Gasunas has the line into turn number 1. I assume that Dal's going to try and go up inside into the hairpins here. Dennis, he's been able to keep reasonably close to turn number 1. He should be in the draft. He is.
Definitely, I think for helping out Phil with his dumb internet being capped, we should probably make this pay-per-view so we could get some better internet connection. This is absolutely amazing. And Dal going for the inside, coming down towards the hairpin here. What is Gashunas going to do? He's braking very late, trying to go around the outside here. No, he's... What was that? He's sort of tried to make a cutback, but he probably miscalculated it, and Dal makes a small mistake coming into the second hairpin here. Coming out of the third, Gashunas is still on the bumper with him. Let's see if we can get the toe down here.
I suppose maybe Gashunas did the braking for a GT2 cutback rather than the GT3 cutback. And oh, there goes Toby Sherla going through the middle of these two. Gashunas not in the draft down into this left-right chicane, but closing up a fair distance.
And getting into the dirty air here, so he lost a bit of ground there. So let's see. Ooh. A small slide from Dal there. Both Dal and Gashunas got a bit of a slide coming off that corner there. Let's see. Gashunas made a very good turn coming through there, but he lost a bit of speed coming out of the corner because of a small slight correction. But yeah, I think it's going to develop into a battle again, because I know Gashunas had a better pace just before Dal came past him, so let's see if we're going to have a battle here developing again. There's some good stuff with the Super GT and really allowing people to battle with these restrictions. This is very, very surprising and good racing, and a fresh breath of air into the for speed late racing again. I think Dal might have a bit of engine damage because Gashunas was just catching him up by 3 kph down the straightaway here. So right up back bumper again. We see them probably having a dash down the front straightaway again.
That might explain why Dal was so unable to stay close down the main straight last time after Gashunas got past him. He didn't really make any headway. Both bouncing through the chicane. Gashunas ends up with a tighter, better road out, though. Dal almost making contact with the tyres. Gashunas making a little bit of contact. Let's see, this will be an interesting comparison side by side. Slightly
yeah,
better top and
genuine
range.
guys in the live stream box cheering on Genuine Racing and Gashunas. And Nicky, whoa, he just let go of the throttle there on the inside. He could have probably made it stick if he stayed in there, but now he's gonna have the... No, Gashunas. Ooh, Gashunas made a very good move coming out the corner there, going a bit tighter than you would do, and that's allowing Dal not to catch up again before the hairpins. Very good move from Gashunas there. Dal looking very late for the first hairpin. Gashunas making a small mistake coming out of the corner, weighing out the mistake from Dal. Very close through the hairpin here, and Gashunas is now... Yeah, Gashunas got him. He's moving away from him. And again, Sam Cattell is really catching up to Phil Rose. The gap is not even close to what it used to be. He's really catching up now. He's doing some good job here, but I don't think he'll have enough time. There's only 3 laps to go in the GT500 here. But he's doing everything he can to get some speed down the straightaway, removing the air from the bottom of the car, going on the slightly curved left side of the track here down the back straightaway.
Yep, Cattell really looking in the neck of this GT500.
Yep, he's doing a good job trying to catch up here. he's certainly not given up yet, so that's nice to see.
Rose very wide with the long left-hander almost onto the grass. He had to get out throttle there twice. He was that wide there, off line and almost onto the sort of buggy curb on the exit as well. Let's compare the second splits between Rose and Cattell. The gap is apparently 18 seconds. And Cattell only made up 3/10, so actually Rose stabilising. It seems to be the first split and the last split where Phil Rose is losing out to Simon Cattell the most. Could that possibly be wings then, between two different cars? Or if Cattell's running a lower setup?
Yeah, probably that's the thing here. I see Cattell is R203, so you know it could be a difference in wings and probably Simon Cattell running a bit higher wings or lower even, sorry.
Ooh, as Cattell comes through the final corner, I'm watching him. We see Taco Nicholin smashing through the tyres and spinning in front of Cattell. Cattell getting away with that, but taking out, whoa, 8/10 of a second on the last split on Phil Rose. So really it is the first and the last split, Dennis. Cattell really seems to be...
per lap.
Yeah, so Cattell really seems to be nailing the first and last splits, and Phil Rose is hanging on in there at the moment. It's not going to be a battle unless Simon Cattell suddenly finds 8 seconds a lap, but yes, nice little charge there. Phil Rose, whoa, head to the hairpin, locking up massively, and he's only doing that too many times at this stage of a stint.
Oh, and he was about half a second too slow coming into that first sector there. Let's see what Simon can get out of this first sector compared to him. Yep, almost a second. It was a 6/10 in the first sector alone.
Interesting enough, Tiger Express, who of course had that unlucky time out, have just done the fast lap overall in GT3, so they really did have some nice pace in this race. If they had another time out, who knows what they could have achieved, but they're currently stuck down in 14th position, still ahead of a pilot from hell.
Simon might have made a small mistake on that lap because he only caught him by, well, he lost a lot of time on that mid-sector there. Yep, and we have 2 laps to go here in the first round of Super GT.
Yep, ever race of Super GT. And it's actually been reasonably entertaining actually, because considering the track, normally Master Endurance has produced some reasonably tepid racing even from Master Endurance point of view. It's more an endurance of sort of stamina in many respects through the night, 24-hour race of Aston. I think this has certainly worked very, very well. There's been nice battles throughout, Dennis, and I think that we can see Super GT should be a fairly big success during the rest of the season.
Yeah, Penny catching genuine racing a lot here. Was about a second quicker on the last lap, so Penny is making up for the mistakes a bit here, trying to catch up to genuine racing, and he's probably gonna get right up there if Mr. Heidemann doesn't pick up his pace here.
And we actually do have a battle here between Sonic Realms Racing and their XR GT3 and TDRT's GT3X FXR. Down the inside, little lunge comes Antonsen. And through on the inside, TDRT had a bit of a slow run out of the chicane. There was about 4 cars going into that at one time. 2 GT500s, I think, as well. And through goes Antonsen. And onto the last lap goes Phil Rose, so we're 2 minutes 40-ish away from the first GT Series victor, surely being Raystar Convertible. They've got a Sky right in front of them in this super quick Tiger Express XR. Round he goes before turn number 1. It looks all plain sailing from here for Phil Rose. He shouldn't catch the other back marker in front of him, I don't think.
And we have the battle of 4th here between Pena and Hyderman. Hyder made a small mistake coming into the hairpin. And looks to me like Pena should be having him down the straightaway here. Ooh.
So close to the tyres there as well.
Bit of wiggle there coming out of the corner. Seemed to me like they were a bit too stiff.
There's Libyan actually going fast in the late stages as well. Doesn't seem to have quite gone right for Speedo today, but they're comfortably in 6th position, some good points to start the season. And look at this, Pena right up behind Hyderman now, Dennis. I think that he could make the move into the hairpin. This is going to be interesting to see how hard Hyderman's willing to defend. You'd think there's 3 opportunities to pass at this last lap, but Pena for the outside on the back of Hyderman. Hyderman has the inside still for the hairpin. Pena should be able to brake later in the FZR, but down the inside, Hyderman really brave on the brakes, stops on the apex to stop Pena having the undercut. And then there's a bit of contact and Pena makes a side. Hyderman going drifting, and he's going to lose the position because he's made a mistake, Robin Hyderman, and Pena's up into 4th place, Dennis.
So I'm even crashed.
Yeah, there was so in the end it was a mistake from Hyderman that's let Pena through. Pena looked as though the chance had gone there, but Hyderman getting a little bit too leery under braking, and up into 4th place goes Lanzarote Racing Team. And you have to say they deserved that. They were quick all race, really. But here comes Phil Rose into the final sector now, and it's going to be a comfortable victory in the end, despite Simon Cattell's best attempts at catching him as he laps the, well, that's going to be a nice shot, laps the victors in GT5 and GT300 as well, Lowland Lions. So the 2 winners of this race are going to be in the same shot, basically coming over the line. I think might just be a little bit out of shot actually, Miko. But anyway, Phil Rose is coming to the final chicane, and Raystar Convertible are going to take the first win ever in Super GT, and it's going to be a good series, I can tell. And if it remains this competitive for the whole season, it should be entertaining for everybody. Phil Rose and Raystar Convertible win at Aston Grand Prix, the first ever Super GT race. And in GT300, Lowland Lions take the victory, and it's pretty comfortable for them as well. They've got a fairly big gap of around 40 seconds to 2nd position. There's Simon Cattell finishing 2nd for Lowland Lions. He put up a great fight, but in the end they end up 16 seconds. Cattell really did fly in that last stint. 3rd, Danish race team for in GT500. A good solid race for them back in the FZR. Normally an FXR team, but taking the FZR for this series. Pena does finish 4th, and there's Gasunis actually finishing 2nd, right in front of Pena for 2nd position in GT300. That'll be a consolation for him after his annoying timeout yesterday. Hyderman finishes 5th in GT500 for Genuine Racing, and of course 3rd in GT300 was Dal for Savage Sim Sports. And that all got a bit confusing there as they all came over the line together, so I apologise if that sounded like a bit of a ramble. Anyway, Dennis Lane, that was a good start to the season, wasn't it, for a new series?
Yeah, it has been an absolutely amazing race. No lack of action whatsoever. Everybody kept it somewhat clean and not too much contact on the track, and yeah, some good racing and very, very competitive driving. Phil Rose setting the quickest, well, not the quickest lap, that was from Johannes Scheurer. Oh, Angel Power, ooh, GTS finished just in front of Angel Power Racing Team by absolutely nothing. It was about 1/10 of a gap, just side by side coming over the line. So GTS got the spot from from Angel Power Racing and a small bit of a tap down there on straightaway.
I don't think there was anything in that. He was drawing up tongue his horn or something. I think, yeah, that was yeah, leave that alone. Anyway, so yeah, that was a good finish for those guys as well. It's been continuous battles throughout the day, so it doesn't really surprise me that. What on earth is that? Is that a car flying off the track behind us as well? Oh, they're sort of crashing. Anyway, there's been continuous battles throughout the day in that class, so I'm not entirely surprised that two cars came across the line with like a 1/10 of a second gap. It's very, very good for the series, I would say, and I think that that class in particular has shown today its worth, and that it in the future should be the class to watch if you want exciting, close racing. In fact, both the genuine racing cars have run out of fuel on the cooldown lap. That's cutting it rather fine for both cars. Really, that's some good calculations in the end, I suppose. Anyway, a quick rundown of the result of this first ever Super GT race. In GT500, Team Raystar Convertible taking a dominant win right from start to finish. Lowland Lions finished second, the Danish Racing Team in third position, Lanzarote Racing Team fourth, Genuine Racing fifth, Speedo Racing finished in sixth position with Conquest seventh, Core Racing finished in eighth position with the Reality Racing Team in ninth. Last Lap Motorsports finished 10th in the FZR. In 11th position was Grav T Racing Team with Spirit Racing Team in 12th, and the two teams that suffered timeouts from that class, Player Zone and Sonic Realms, bringing up the rear. In GT300, Lowland Lions take as dominant a win as we saw in GT500 with Raystar Convertible. They were followed by Genuine Racing and Savage Sim Sports, eventually finishing third, having run second for a long period of this race. Speedo Racing finished fourth, fifth position came Core. Player Zone, after their first lap collision, made a good recovery to sixth ahead of GTS Motorsports, Angel Power Racing. Vortex finished seventh, Sonic Realms Vortex finished 9th, Sonic Realms finished 10th, Danish Racing Team finished 11th, with Glowing Pistons Racing in 12th, Hellenic Racing 13th, Tiger Express after their timeouts 14th, and Pilot from Hell finishing 15th. Our only retirement of the race, My 3ID Gaming, had a bit of a hard time today, and eventually, I suspect because of PC hardware problems, considering that Noziak timed out as soon as he spectated from the race. So that is your results for today, and that, I suppose, will conclude this broadcast. Dennis, Lynn, a final word from you and to how you've seen this race and how you've enjoyed it, I suppose.
It's been absolutely awesome. I mean, there's not a single thing I could point at and say that sucked. So it's been a very good race with lots of action. As I've said before, it's been really action-packed. And, you know, we've seen good fights and some crashes, and basically all we need to see in a good race.
Indeed, it's been an eye-opening one for Live for Speed, and I think that it shows that Live for Speed can still provide a good entertainment despite its current malaise. Thank you very much for joining myself and Dennis today. Thank you very much to the administration team. Thank you very much to Philip Diaz for providing the stream, and thank you viewers for watching. I've been Chris Ford, he's been Dennis Lint, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thanks, Phil.